morning, everyone. I am Oracle Unicorn, and welcome. I have not been to the store yet. I was going through an emotional kind of like shutdown. So I was like not even really able to get out of bed. And then I started watching Reba. that made me feel better. Really, because it made me laugh. So I forced Abigail goes out of her brain. Good morning. I am. I slept. I went through like depression sleeping yesterday. Woke up, talked on the phone a little bit, and then went back to sleep after watching Reba. And Reba made me feel better. Reba is so funny. I love that show. And I'm waiting to be able to go to the store because I did not go to the store yesterday. I wanted to wait to be able to have the YMCA money so that when I go to the store I can get just about everything I needed. So I got a soda for this morning. And the store doesn't open until 8. Well, the Dollar General. I am not gonna go to no gas station. It's gonna be more expensive than Dollar General. And then I had to pay Cash App back for money I borrowed. And then after I paid Cash App back, I was like, yo, I need some money back. So I wonder if that even builds on my credit. It probably builds on Cash App's credit. But I'm using like the money to pay it back, but then borrow again to have a later time. It hit this morning, yeah. And then I had to pay some of Cash App back, and then I pulled some more money out so that I can go to the store this morning. But the store isn't open until 8. So, yeah. I didn't go to the store yesterday. For one, I didn't want to go to the store, and two, I wanted to wait for the YMCA to finally kick in. And yeah, I didn't kick in till, I guess, in the middle of the night last night, or because I saw it this morning, and I was like, okay, I can go to the store. Probably get a box of burgers, coffee creamer, cheese, some burgers. Yeah, right. Yeah. And good morning, good morning, good morning. So yes, that did get taken care of. Even with blocking them on my Cash App, I blocked them on my Cash App so that it wouldn't happen again. So good thing I was still able to get the refund through the block. It's like, is this even gonna work? For one, I have my card locked. Two, because I had to transfer the money from Cash App over to PayPal so I can use my PayPal card so I can even use the money because I have a new card being mailed. And that should be here today. I looked that up and I was like, it should be there soon on the 17th. And I looked at the date. I was like, hey, today's the 17th. It should be here today. I had fun on Bigo. Always have fun on Bigo. I always have so much fun on Bigo. I was being mean yesterday though. When I was in multi-guest, I was just being mean. I didn't even care. But I was being nice too. But if you were just being a dope, like if you were just being ridiculous, I was just not even giving you a chance. There's so many new people on there. There's heavier energy. There's newer people. I don't even think the older people that I knew or kind of even hung out with even are really on there anymore. So I started like going back into personal lives on Bigo. I don't even think I saw a few I remembered. That was funny. And it gives you a minute now of recording. So you better be ready for that minute. Like, good to know. Good to know. Yeah. I am happier being off the streets for sure. But it's still it's still stressful and creates a whole lot of high anxiety because same thing about when I was at Wolves. Anything can happen. You don't all the way know the situation or the hidden finances behind the said situation. So it can be a little bit difficult. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking, you know? And at any point in time, you know, like someone could be like, yeah, it's getting too much. We need you to leave. So that's the difficult part in it. And I would like to be able to, like, you know, handle being able to do certain things more. And then, like, what? So, where was I? Fuck, it was Facebook yesterday. Oh, man. There were some trolls on there yesterday. Triggered me so bad I had to get off. I was not even in the mood. Like, why don't you get a job? Like, oh, what a brilliant fucking idea. Because that's all y'all freaking seem to sit there and say. Because that's the solution to being able to get off the street. Not all the time. You know how many people have jobs and still on the street because they can't get into a fucking home? Or they can't find the right people to be able to roommate with? That's not just a simple solution to being able to be stable in your own life. Good morning, good morning. That's what I think is so weird. Like, how can you think that no, you need a career. You need a career. Like, I suggest not watching it. It's not even very long. I don't even think it's even worth watching. Yeah, you need a career to be stable. Just getting some old job isn't gonna keep your ass off the fucking streets. Like, Yeah, I'll just walk over there to Dollar General when they probably already have plenty of people they need. Seems how like we hardly have any available jobs as it is, even if some place is saying they're hiring. Oh no, that's a month from now. I say that every fucking time. I mean, that's not the point. That's not a negative Nancy. You're just, that's verbally just to go at someone and down them because you have no understanding of the issues we have as a society collective. Really, that's not just being a negative Nancy. Not at all. That is actually going out to verbally attack someone. to sit there and say that while we're in a American crisis. Like, for real. I mean, I'm as okay as okay can be right now. I was emotionally feeling really, really fucking rocky yesterday. And then getting verbally attacked was not helping. And then I went on to Bigo, and that lifted my spirits up a lot. And then I ended up nitpicking and fighting with my fiance, of course, because I'm just part of one of those females that are very sensitive and emotional. So it just so happens that way. And when I don't feel understood, oh, I'm triggered so fast when not feeling understood. But I've been doing a lot better. He helps me do a lot better. He helps me be able to take a step back and go, alright, I'm being a little mean. And I didn't used to be able to do that. I used to just not give a fuck. Who, how, what the fuck I said, and I don't care how I hurt your feelings. Because I'm tired of people not giving a fuck about my life, so why the fuck should I even give a fuck about y'all's feelings? Like, shit, you leaving people out to fucking die on sidewalks. Like, while you fucking protesting for another country. While we're in a fucking crisis. Sure. So, I ended up tripping out on him. And then something happened. And he was like, he messaged me, he was like, I'm so tired of getting cussed out. And then it was blank after that. I didn't hear from him. I was like, oh man, I really pissed him off this time. Thank you. Desiree, thank you. Yeah, it really is. Even if you have a job. I've seen people still struggle being on the streets and have a job. Thank you, AJ. That part. Good morning, Karen. I am having a better day than yesterday. Oh, but then, what happened was, I guess the cops ended up coming into the area or do some sort of round. And that's what happened. He actually ended up trying to call me, but I deleted the text. And also the Google Meet has issues sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't let you know when someone's calling you. And then I ended up, I think that was around the time I ended up falling asleep, taking a nap. I woke up at 8 o'clock, looked at my messages. Man, my phone was all blown up. I went, oh, okay, he still cares. He's not as mad as I thought. You just couldn't speak more. Because I ended up crying myself asleep. I was like, I'm such a horrible person. I can't fucking get nothing right. I just want my own home. I want my own family. I just want to feel like I can actually freaking live. I can't keep a man. Crying myself to sleep, cuddling my Mr. Foxy. It's like, sometimes I feel like such a child in a world that you feel so alone. Literally like never-ending story being in a whole fucking Except for not as much of a fantasy world. It's a world of hell. And you alone. And family just throw you away. People are making $20 an hour and can't afford to eat. Water, groceries, rent, mortgage are way high. Insurance for vehicles are ridiculous. So even having a decent paying job is still hard to live. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate y'all for that. I was having an emotional meltdown yesterday. To the point where I had to cuddle my Mr. Foxy. He got a little heart on his tie. He's so cute. The rainbow octopus gave him to me. She came out to tell me stories about her stuffed animals. And then, good morning. To tell me stories about her stuffed animals. And then she said, now Mr. Foxy, I bought Mr. Foxy for someone. And then I needed to keep Mr. Foxy longer. And she's like, here, you could hold Mr. Foxy. And I was like, I like Mr. Foxy. And instantly when I saw Mr. Foxy, it reminded me of the Fox movie. The claymation Fox movie. And I waited so long to see that movie. And when I finally was able to see that movie, I was so disappointed. I got the meaning behind it. Now, I mean, I get it. It was very much of suicide, or not suicide. It was very much of, it was a suicide mission of what you have to do to take care of your own family. So it had heavy meaning behind it, especially there being 3 farmers. And they were in a sense, the elites in the movie. It was slow, and it's definitely an adult movie, and you gotta really have a heightened sense of understanding to be able to have some sort of entertainment with this movie, because it's just, the story was not very good. Point behind the story, I got it. It was pretty powerful. I mean, it's not a movie that's gonna last for the ages, you know what I'm saying? But like, my imagination of the movie was so much better. And I always liked foxes. I always loved drawing foxes. I could always draw foxes better than I could draw wolves. I just always liked foxes. I always wanted one too. I had a dream about a fox one time. It was a male fox. Taking care of his 3 pups. Practically almost dying in his nest. Taking care of his 3 pups. And I remember walking over to this fox in my dream. Looking at it, going like feeling like I knew this fox, and I knew this fox kids, and I told the fox it's gonna be okay. I told the fox you're gonna make it, and it was almost like this it's like the fox looked up at me like it was looking at something it could not see, like it was like I was some sort of like embodied voice, and it looked up at me, and it was almost like it gave the fox just enough inspiration to be able to release some sort of anxiety it had, because it laid back down. It's not like it got up and started doing weird things. It actually laid back down. But I could feel its energy shift, like it was healing. And so it was really cool. I think I ended up waking up after that. I don't know the rest of the dream. But foxes make me happy. Sometimes we have those kid of emotional days. It's okay to feel. You got this, girl. I know it's hard out there. Thank you, AJ. Much love, much love. You always manage to put on a smile. You're a strong woman. Thank you. I do my best. Because ever since I was a kid, I always had to create, or experience something to be able to have happy chemicals. It's just something I always did, to be able to keep myself on a happier level, no matter what it is I went through. I was always a very isolated, lonely kid. Yeah. When I had friends, I really didn't have many. When I had friends, I didn't go out all that often. And then I ended up losing those friends because the sister and my boyfriend at the time got together. So I ended up losing those friends. And then I ended up just being a lot more lonelier. My mom says it was because of my son's father why I became so different, apparently. And I remember that started when my sister's dad was always trying to fight for custody of them, and my dad wasn't, so I really wasn't all that of an importance. So that's kind of what created a lot of my loneliness. I mean, there'd be times then my mom would come in the room and like talk with me a little bit, lay in the bed with me and hug me and tell me she loved me. That was far, far few in between. She was always just kind of stressed out about everything. And then when she lost her job at Bell South, things just got worse after that. And it was almost like that's when I lost my mom. Without really losing my mom. I mean, that's when I mentally feel like I lost my mom. Especially even after the divorce, when it came to Tony and my mom splitting up. Like, I pretty much felt like I lost her before that. But that divorce really like settled in even more. My mom turned even more cold, distant. She tried to connect with my younger sisters more. I became, I don't know, and there would be times when she had a counselor, and she tried to reconnect with me, but I can tell it wasn't really to fix our relationship. At first I kind of thought it was, and then things just started to come out more and more and more, and then I was just like, you know what? Honestly, you're too much for me in my life, and you always apparently, I seem to be too much for you in your life, because you sure as hell don't want me around anymore at all. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, she's alive. Just, I don't trust her. I didn't trust her then, but I could still have a relationship with her, a civil relationship with her now. I don't want nothing to do with her. I would much rather not have a phone because I don't want nothing to do with her than to have a phone so she can keep tabs on me whether I'm dead or alive. If you really cared, I mean, you wouldn't. Anyway, whatever. Everyone has their excuses, right? It's okay. I've been on my own this long. Without your love and care, I can survive the rest of my life without you. Same thing with that supposed sperm donor. I've survived my whole life without even feeling loved from him. Much less to sit there and have to force him to even care about me. Like, fuck that. It's pretty sad. Thank you, AJ. Thank you very much for saying that, because it is extremely sad that literally social media has been the main thing to save my life, because it made me feel like I had a sense of purpose. It made me feel like I am even cared about. That it made me feel like that I'm not as fucked up as the way everyone made me feel. Like, I truly do deserve some sort of happiness, and I do believe that in myself. I really do. And that's why it's so hard for me to even be in a relationship, because the trust, I've never been able to trust anyone in my life. I can't really name one person at all I've ever been able to trust. And it's terrifying all the time. Even when you're in a safe, so quote unquote safe, than what you were, because of course this is definitely way safer than being on the sidewalks, for sure. It's still terrifying. It's just so hard to feel like you're such a messed up person. Like, you're born so wrong that all of society makes you feel like you don't even deserve to live. And literally your group, your community, you built out of literally nothing, opening your heart, expressing. It's the only thing I have. And then people go and try to take that from you, or add to the pain, when all you wanted to do was reach out to a community, create some sort of family, feel like you have some sort of like place and it's okay to be happy. But it feels like we live in a world that if someone sees you happy, they make it their mission to take your happiness. You don't think they worry about you? No, if they did, they would have never pushed me to the streets in the first place. I would never do that to my son. I don't care what the fuck I'm going through or what the hell he's going through. Hell no. If I were a father, I could not even fathom doing that to my daughter. Our males nowadays, what even are they? Does any of them even give a fuck about their children anymore? That seems to be getting really, really rare. And then it's hard when it comes to the good parents, because the good parents are slaving so much and so many hours in work. Their children are emotionally starved. And then the schools want to blame it on the parents when, well, if we had the time, like, thank you for the dick hugs. No, I don't know what happened with that. No, I don't know what's going on. I don't have any contact with either of my sons anymore. And that's one of the reasons that's making it extremely hard. Because I just feel like my youngest son doesn't even want to talk with me, because he keeps telling me about certain things I guess he hears about that I did, that I'm like, son, that never happened. I didn't do that. Like, it's like he's being fed shit to hate me, or to look at me in a wrong light. And to the point to where he don't even talk to me anymore because I'm trying to let him know. And then he just thinks that I'm just, because that's what he's told. So I don't even feel like he wants me in his life anymore. So I can't force him to talk to me. I try. I have made efforts way more than my mother did. I slept at parks near him just to be able to see him. I got a video of that one because I ended up having to make a birthday video for my oldest son because it was around his birthday. That's the society we live in now. And people want to call this a mother state. Fucking, it's a big fat fucking lie. No, it's not. It's not a mother state. It's a whoever has the most money state. That's what it is. Yep, because my oldest son, his father wanted an abortion, and I was the one that gave him life. I said no. And then at one point I had both of them, but my mom's a fucking raging alcoholic, and I was working a job trying to take care of both of them, and then it was getting too hard, and I figured it would be better for my oldest son to go to his father's house, and I would still be able to do more for my youngest son, and he would have more. And then instead, and which the only reason I gave him custody, or we had shared custody, court ordered for me to be able to see my oldest son 2 times out of the month, and he went against that, and I fought for 2 years to prove all that and show them, and nope, still ripped my fucking rights from me and fucking allowed that bitch to adopt him after I said no, that woman cannot adopt my son. Like, bullshit. Florida is not a fucking mother state at all. And I had Christian with me while this was going on. How are you gonna sit there and say I'm not a good enough mother for my fucking oldest son when I'm sitting here, been taking care of him, been there for my youngest son, and I'm sorry, I'm more of a stay-at-home person and I don't have a regular fucking job to sit here and be a fucking superwoman. I've been superwoman without holding a goddamn job. Look how long I survived the fucking streets without being on drugs, selling my body. I think I'm a good inspiration for people that fucking survive, especially being a fucking female. Jeez. Yeah, I know someone is manipulating him, and that's what's hurting. Not much I can do about it while his stepmom literally walks around the house practically naked. And when she wears skirts, she doesn't have any fucking underwear on. I've seen her flash me when I've stayed at that fucking house. It's disgusting. It's no wonder my son thinks he's gay. Because his mom flaunts her fucking private parts around the house. Well, we live in a world of a bunch of narcissists, and that's what narcissists do. Use children to try to cause pain to the other parent. He has me trained. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, thank you all for letting me express this. I didn't know this was all like on my heart and shit. Didn't even realize this was affecting me right now. I mean, it's part of the fact that, like, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I went off the journey to be homeless, to figure out something out, find a job, find a community, find somewhere to be, find where I belong. Since how no one wanted me, whoever, the people I was around did not want me around, so I went to go find somewhere to fucking feel accepted, feel where I felt like I belonged, I was loved. I realized everywhere in the U.S. is practically like this to each other, and then started losing hope. The longer I ended up staying on the streets. The more I tried to get resource help, the more I was rejected. The more I got rejected, the more I just hated this world. The more I started to understand why people were committing suicide. After 11 years, you try keep telling yourself that. All I know for a fact is this roof over my head is extremely temporary. Because that's all I've ever experienced. A temporary roof. I'll be back to the streets. I might as well enjoy this before I end up back on the streets. Even Lucky keeps knocking on the door and asking me if I'm okay, because I won't go nowhere. I really won't leave the room. Well, when you experience homelessness that long, and experience it the way I've experienced it, it becomes terrifying to walk out the front door. I'm really glad she gave me the stuffed animal. I didn't realize how much a stuffed animal actually helps when you're emotionally going through it until like last night, and I went, wow, this actually helps. Hello, Donna, how are you? Yeah, that's the talk about things just to get it off your chest is one of the real big reasons why I loved being on social media. Why I made my own business page. I'm not trying to impose my problems on anyone else's life. I'm not trying to force people to just take care of me. I created this to express my heart, my loneliness, my pain, and to find my community, not to get abused. Not for you to come into my store and tell me what you think I should do with my life. How abusive? You don't do that to any other fucking business, especially if it's a storefront. Why does this make this okay? Just because I don't have money to sue you? Because everyone wants to think that it's okay just because it's online? It causes just as much damage, if not more. And you are vandalizing someone's business page that they get paid through. So that's a business. You're vandalizing. And that's what I don't understand. How come we are so horrible in our own heads and then just take it out on each other instead of literally standing up with no violence, don't kill no one, don't shoot nothing, but just standing up and just pause everything until they decide to fucking fix shit. I mean, look at New York, people talking about people starting to steal from Target, stealing from all these stores, making stores, shut down. I can only imagine how that's going to bleed and keep bleeding, since how our officials don't want to fix nothing. They just want to make things more strict. I mean, haters paying you, don't even know it. Still doesn't make it right, but yeah, I know. I live in Vermont. Homelessness is really bad here right now, but the communities are coming together to help them. That's good. Thank you for letting me know that. It's really good to see the communities actually caring, because this isn't really a cop issue. This is a communal, local issue. Like, the fact that anybody is calling cops on any of these homeless, unless it's something of breaking into something, or vandalizing something, that's a difference, Just for sleeping out in public, really, go get a life. Stop bothering these cops over people sleeping. Like, you have got to be kidding me. And if you don't want them peeing out in public or peeing anywhere around y'all, then how about you put some outhouses up? Or how about you put some public bathrooms out and just let them do it? You pay people to clean these bathrooms for these very reasons. I know you can't put cameras in there, but you can have them around the bathroom. You can have sound, so if you hear anything being broken, I mean, you can get the face of that person and who comes out. I mean, like, when it comes to breaking things that fucking much, but also, it's not like they help these schizophrenics. They leave them out here on the streets, and then these schizophrenics freak out because some of them really, there's that lady over there at the turf, and she would just yell out, "I want my own home. I want my own home." And I'm like, this is why y'all have issues with her, because y'all won't fucking do your fucking resources. They keep throwing her in and out of jail and shit. People making up stories about her. And then she's practically starving. And then she keeps getting sexually harassed by this other horrible fucking guy that's around, has some sort of scooter. How does he have all this shit? And he's a horrible person, but yet this poor female hardly has anything. The cops keep throwing her shit away. Her blankets, her mat. She had a yoga mat. Cops keep forcing her to throw the shit away, but yet you don't want to fucking take care of her. Unbelievable. I mean, you know what? DeSantis really deserves that nickname. DeSatan? Dude, you really do deserve that nickname. You really do. For that shit, just because y'all want to create it to be more of a fucking rich state. Thank you for being the prime example of what the rest of our officials of the United States wants to create. You are a prime example. And it's such a beautiful example. Oh, good morning, good morning. Welcome back, Catherine Rose. Off topic, but did you organize the cardboard? Oh. Yeah, the corner is all clean. The cardboard is right there for right now. And then we still have a few boxes off to the side. But yeah, it's actually. And then I use this as kind of, because she didn't want that table moved. So I just kind of use it as like a table stand. And then I have my nightstand right there. So yeah, I made sure to be ready to do. It's a Bigo thing. Like, I have to have perfect, like, for Bigo. I really love playing on Bigo. I just wish I could get paid the way people are really getting paid there on Bigo. People are getting, like, hello money from Bigo. And I'm having difficulties because I don't have a regular, like, brick and mortar bank. I did, but I didn't have an income coming in, so they shut it. They closed the account, so. Yeah, and I hope you enjoy your coffee. What time is it? 7:10. I still have an hour before I can go to the store, but I still got some caffeine. Yeah. Whew. Flowing through. It's no wonder. It's no wonder with my box of papers, the cave card keeps coming out. I'm caving up. I'm caving into the room. That's why it was so. It just felt so horrible how much my father and his girlfriend talked so much shit about me when y'all can clearly see how much they really lied about me. how often am I always online? If I'm not on one platform, I'm on another. And how did I have time to do any of the things they fucking say? While they're like, oh, we're going here, oh, we're going here, oh, we're going here. And then they'll come back with food, but then bitch at me about eating at the house. And then bitch at me for them having to buy food. And then I would sit here and beg my people, like y'all, to have money to buy my own groceries because my own father's bitching to me about food. And bitch, you an engineer. And I almost got in trouble because they made a freaking profile sitting there saying, oh, we helped her this. And then put a video of me showing off how much food my fucking dad had and how expensive his shit is. And then he wants to go and sit there and treat me the way he fucking treats me. And try to use that as a way to defame me. And I'm like, and it actually almost caused issues for me here. Because the guy started to feel nervous over me, and I was like, well, that's because he wanted to sit there and bitch at me about food, and he's my father. And when it comes to a parent or a kid, or you living with a parent, the parent is supposed to apply for food stamps, or you can get a felon. And I'm all about not fucking doing that. And then he wants to throw it in my face, like when I finally did have a card because I got food stamps before I went to my dad's house. I was like, I tried to give him the card to go to the store. He's like, oh no, I'm not going to do anything illegal, but yet you're going to ask me to fucking do things illegal, aren't you? Bitch. That's such a lie. He's such a lying fucking sperm donor. He didn't even care about his older son either. I have a brother I don't even know about. He didn't even, and he lied to me all my whole childhood about that. So I don't even give a fuck. You couldn't even love your first child. What made me think you can love me? I always talked about my oldest son. I always told Christian, you still have an older brother, and I work really hard to help keep him a part of our life, to bring him back, and hopefully he'll be able to come back to us. I never just disowned my child like that, nor pay my child to leave my face. Why, like, and apparently my sister's dad was going to adopt me. Why even keep the adoption from happening if you didn't even give a fuck about me? That is what baffles me the most. Would I have had a better life? Would I have never ended up off the streets if he would have just given me up for an adoption to my sister's dad? My sisters do fine. Besides, my youngest sister has some very unhealthy obsessions about me. But other than that, they do amazing. You know? Maybe if he wasn't so selfish. Like, what was I? Just a thing? You didn't want someone to take your thing? I mean, I don't get it. Because you sure as hell didn't want to take care of it. While my uncle comes across the street talking about family this, family that. Bitch, you don't even know shit about having a family, apparently, because you're an asshole, too. Sitting there terrorizing me, coming from my grandmother's house, because he didn't buy that fucking house, neither did my dad buy that house. My grandma bought both houses. But I guess I'm not allowed to live in one. My grandma bought one in Tennessee. Apparently it was supposed to be mine. But I guess I'm not allowed to live in my own goddamn motherfucking house, huh? Car. Grandma told me she left me a fucking car. They sold that. Or it's just sitting somewhere up north because they said they gave it to another family member. Yeah. They really totally tried. They really cared, didn't they? And then that nurse, his girlfriend, she should lose her fucking job. You do not have no heart. Honestly, you need to experience what it truly is to be on the street, not live in a car. Oh yeah? Is that what you're telling me she is? Good. Then maybe she'll know Truth. Thank you. Right when I said that, it's so weird. Y'all, I don't know if I showed y'all the condom fairy fucking wings. So that's the condom fairy. The condom fairy comes around and gives you condoms. And one just happened to fall off right when I said that. Fresh mint. Yep, one happened to fall off right when I said that. I love life. I love the unknown. I love messages. Everything happens for a reason. That's why to me, omanism is so true. Wild. He has a 9 or 2. It's 411 there. 411. 4:11 in the morning? Holy shit. My baby is almost 33, and if he needed anything, home, food, support, or just a place to lay his head, he'd never be turned away. Thank you. That part. Because that's what us mothers do. That's us real mothers truly care about our babies. We don't care how old you are. You're still our baby. You could be 50 years old and we want, you're still my baby. Come here, give your mama a hug. You know, you had to take up your mom. You pick up your mama and hug them. Right? Like, for real. Like, it is awful. Boy, it hurts. It hurts more than anything. It just hurts. It hurts. Badly. Because I can't fathom. I can't even fathom watching. Like, my mom won't even watch videos of me being on the street. I can't fathom being a mother doing that. And not getting off my ass next to them. Going, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm going to sit here right here with you. You don't want me to go live? It's okay, I'll watch you go live. You want me to go live with you? Okay, we'll go live together. I couldn't fathom watching my baby suffer. How can you watch that and not have a heart? Thank you. Thank you, AJ. Exactly that part. Good morning, Jessica. Welcome. I'm sorry for things feeling so. I would never turn my son away. That, right. And I'm a daughter. And I was paid to go to the streets. And I'm a daughter. And that's what my father did. Well, sperm donor. Because that's not much of a father. And then to use me reaching out to my community because I'm having emotional issues when I'm not even having any marks, and you want to just try to force me into a mental hospital to try to force this or force that. I don't even understand. I wasn't even hurting myself. I was reaching out to my community, and you used that against me when that's something we are taught to do. If you are going through something, don't hurt yourself. Reach out to someone. And I did, and had that used against me. I could sue him for that. I don't know. I keep like this keeps trying to go off, like lose connection or something. I mean, they have Wi-Fi. Oh. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Like, I even made a TikTok while I was at my dad's saying it's a really hard pill to swallow when you realize social media saved your life. As much as it has made my life a little bit more dangerous with higher officials, it has saved my life countless times. Like, going through meltdowns and being able to just express with y'all, even if it looks ugly, even if people hate me over it, it helped me. And that's what I made this for. Hugs. It helped me. Because this is why I created Unicorn. Because no one loved me. I wanted to feel loved. So I instilled the most happiest word I can think of. Unicorn. So when I hear it, people force happiness into me. Because it's a word that creates happiness. And any time I heard it. Because anytime I heard that name that they gave me, it just hurts. I'm in trouble. That name is tied to so much abuse, so much pain, so many lies. It's not me. I'm Unicorn. I am not what they lied to you about. I love y'all. And that's why I had to ask God. I talked with God. I had a long conversation with God about that one, because I understand going by your God-given name. But I told God, I was like, I'm happier being called Unicorn. And please forgive me. But I love Unicorn. I love myself. I'm not hating on myself. But words have power. And the energy behind that one hurts. And the energy behind Unicorn, everything's gonna be okay, because I walked away from everything that hurts. I didn't ban you, but I will suspend your ass for sitting there. Just to tell me what to fucking do. You obviously don't belong here. Goodbye. 5:24. Good morning. It's early for y'all too. Just like it was early for me. My daughter loves unicorns, right? I love y'all too. Thank you. Thank you for y'all, those of you that love me and allow me to express. Because y'all are right. Expressing is healing. And I don't like our therapists. The way they trained our therapists doesn't help. They don't really help. They just teach you how to cope to bunch of abuse we live in. I don't need that. I can figure that one out on my own. I've already figured that one out on my own. I had to figure out how to cope while I was going through abuse. So much less have to figure out how to cope while I'm sitting here have to deal with abuse outside of abuse. Now you being abusive. Thank you, Donna. That is what I'm sitting here looking over for. Looking over at expressing is healing. It is. It is. And it shows heart. It shows heart. It shows authenticity. We are not mimes. We are not robots. We have emotions. Meditation is good too, yeah. It really is. Yeah, that's why I don't go either. I keep trying. And then I had one in Kentucky. Lexington, he was cool. I liked him, but I got to the point to where I could tell he was bedazzled by me. And I went, this is no good. This ain't gonna work. And he was gym fit and wore tight clothes, and it was so distracting. Please, if you are a male therapist, we've been through so much trauma, the last thing we need is a tight tushy walking around and we can see your bulge through your pants. That's the last thing we need. Like, if I could have put a robe around this guy, I would have. Just to think. Like, because he may have been bedazzled, but I was distracted. That's so funny you say we're Mr. Business, and he yells at, he starts meowing at the door. He was actually scratching at the door earlier and wanting to come in, but I was crying. Mr. Business, you wanting to come in? Did you walk away? Okay. You have fun, Mr. Business. I'll crack the door for you. Oh, Susan! Thank you so much. By the way, yes, I did get that. I went for the store open this morning because I was going through emotional shit so much last night that going to the store was not happening, even though it's like around the corner and across the street. It literally is. See, Mr. Business. Good morning, Mr. Business. Everyone asking about you. He does show me love. Namaste. I'm okay, Mr. Business. Whoa, scared you. I'm sorry. Good boy. Did you see something? You probably pay attention to a spirit and it freaked you out. And he's right here. He's so funny. Yeah, right when the store opened, I was going through emotional stuff too much last night, so I did not go to the store. But yes, when it opens up, I'm going to go to the store today. I am staying somewhere for the time being. Yeah, I have a temporary place to be right now. Yes. Yes, right. Here we are, the Misfits. Just like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie, The Land of the Misfits. We are the community of the misfits that actually have heart and care about you. Yeah. He does worry about me. He's funny. He is funny. He does. I think, is that? Ah, yeah, there's skin. I had chicken last night. When the male of the house, not Lucky Charms, when the male of the house cooks, he cooks for everyone, so it's very nice. And he made chicken, broccoli, and scallops last night, so that was pretty good. But I don't eat skin, so it's in my trash can. I gotta throw it out. Anything at all, call on me. Oh, I love you. Thank you, Susan. That is so sweet. That's awesome. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah, he's so fun. That's such a cat thing. But he does it more than any other cat that I've met. Yeah, he does do that. He's funny. He is so funny. He's got the perfect name too. Mr. Business. Ooh. Wow, that was an intense release, y'all. Ooh, I do feel better. Alright, Mr. Business, what's happening, man? I gotta close the door. Yeah, you cannot have the chicken. You can't have no chicken. You can't have the chicken over here. I know, you smell it, don't you? No. We're not doing that. We're gonna leave this alone right here. Okay. Whew. Did we even do this yesterday? I don't even think so. 15th. Damn, did I miss 2 days? We did prayers of Jesus, right? Yeah, I know I didn't do yesterday's. I had to have done this. Yes, I did do that one. Okay. This was yesterday's. Habits and the Holy Spirit. Thank you. You're amazing. Animals feelings. Time for 420. You're awesome. Yeah, I think I'm gonna read this real fast and then I'm gonna shift over. And then I'm gonna pull some random cards, see what we got. I think I might just play with some papers with y'all. We'll see what we got. So, did you grow up around here? It was difficult to answer my dental hygienist's question because her teeth cleaning tools were still inside my mouth. She explained that in 1945, our city became the first in the world to add fluoride to public water, though the thought to prevent cavities. The treatment doesn't require much, just 0.7 milligrams of fluoride to a liter of water. Its positive effects are obvious to a trained professional, but I had no idea I'd been drinking it all my life. The things we consume every day can affect us over time. That applies not only to food and drink, but also to entertainment, friends, and social media messages. What a message we need for today. The Apostle Paul continued, that was actually a perfect message for yesterday, if I wasn't so affected. But yeah. Continued. And it's so funny how people just say, oh, get over it. And it's like when you're an emotionally sensitive person, it's not that easy. The only way to get over it is to get through it. Like, you get the fuck over yourself and stop commenting. here with your shit. It's like, what? Continued. Yeah, the Apostle Paul continued. I've tried not by eyes. Okay, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Continued, okay? Wow, whoa. Exactly, well said. Yeah. Fluoride is bad for us. It calcifies our pineal gland, keeps people from using their own mind and following what they are told. Yeah. Good to see you laughing. Yeah, right? While the Holy Spirit is making disciples of Jesus to be more like Him, the process takes a lifetime. Our habits can help or hinder His work. It's not always easy to recognize what we're consuming, but we can ask the one who's rich in wisdom and knowledge to show us. Wisdom and discernment helps us test and approve what God's will is, while considering ourselves with sober judgment. Whatever He might be asking us to add or to remove from our daily lives is worth the price. All things are from Him and through Him and for Him. He knows best. What's one habit that reveals the Holy Spirit's work in your life? What's one that might be hindering His work? Holy Spirit, thank you for working in and through my life. Cigarettes. I'm on day 6 or 7. Cigarettes was a hell of her endurance. Romans 12:2. Dude, you were absolutely right. You're correct. It was Romans 12:2. Wow, I like you even more, AJ. You are absolutely correct. It is. Alright. That was awesome. Go. I'm on like day 6 or 7 of cigarettes. I mean, so that could be your dough. A little bit of that push of anxiety going on. Dude. Probably, and getting through, probably because of getting their Nick fits. But I need to stop. I don't want to smoke cigarettes, and it freaking hurts. Oh, you have that verse tattooed. Oh, that's so cool. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Damn. That's awesome. If God wills it, one day, me and you beating. Me and you gonna be mean. We gonna have our own little coffee, tea, and chit chat. We're gonna hang out. Eventually, I'm gonna have my buzz. I'm gonna be chilling and chit chatting with all the people. There need be, and this is today's. There need be no poor people among you. Thank you. That is so. Like really. That is not neat. This is not needed. This is like. There need be no poor people among you. Yeah. The members asked why their church was buying a steeple. Was this the best use of God's resources? What about feeding the poor? The pastor replied that the funds came from donors and needed to be spent as they wished. Besides, he quoted Jesus, "You'll always have the poor among you. There need be no poor people among you. And then John 12:8, you will always have the poor among you. The pastor quickly apologized for his flip pant, out of context remark, which led me to wonder, what was Jesus' context? 6 days before his death, a woman anointed Jesus' feet with expensive perfume. The disciples were disgusted. Why wasn't this perfume sold to help the poor? Jesus replied by quoting Dextronomy. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. John 12:8. Jesus often cited Dextronomy, so he knew what was written a few sentences earlier. There need be no poor people among you, for in the land the Lord your God is giving you, he will richly bless you if only you fully obey the Lord your God. Perhaps this was another reason for Jesus' rebuke. Poor people existed only because Israel hadn't obeyed God's instructions. Now the poor were being used to distract from Jesus. The true Israelite who would fully obey to the end. We need not choose between Jesus and the poor. We love people best by loving him most, and loving him most inspires us to love others best. Wow, this is pretty powerful. I need to quit cigarettes too really bad, yeah. It really means a lot to me. I was homeless as well and addicted to drugs. In a jail cell, Jesus came to me. I have been clean and sober for 6 years. Oh, I love your story. Thank you. That's beautiful. God came to me in a hospital in Panama City Beach when I was on suicide watch. Right after I tried to hang myself with cord after talking to the therapist, because the therapist was just extremely cold with me and just shrugged me off like I was just nothing, because I didn't want medications and didn't believe me. I tried to tell her I'm allergic to these fucking things, and then she was so cold-hearted and mean. And it was weird because she was a dark-skinned lady, an American dark-skinned lady, and the therapist I had before that, before I ended up in suicide watch, was a lady from India. And she understood everything I was talking about. The Ehlers-Danlos, she understood the MTHFR, and she was very compassionate with me. Us Americans are so cold-hearted. And then we wonder why we got such suicide rate. Like, crazy. And so much human trafficking going on. Like, goodness. But also, I've seen some crazy videos up in India, too, so... But, man, they usually tend to care. I can do piercings, but tattoos make me want to scrap. I can't stand the repeated needle in and out. Oh, wow. That's how I used to be, actually. Yes, right, Jessica? Proud of you, too. Bump. Ha! Thank you for bumping your comment up. And actually, I appreciate you. That was awesome of you. When I was young, I was trafficked. Wow. God was on my side for survival. I was meant to be so I could help others going through that now. It is my purpose. Holy cow, Susan. Thank you for expressing that. What a powerful group we have here. It's no wonder. Like, I feel like our officials are sending people here to verbally attack us here because we have such a powerful group here. Now you know a little about me. I have so much compassion for other people. It breaks my heart to see people hurt. To see people hurt by hurt people. Yes. See people hurt by hurt people. Yep. That is a thing, that's for sure. But it's your responsibility to, like, tend to your pain so that you don't hurt other people. So you don't become so cold-hearted and like, just soulless. You just become a walking shell of deconstruction. Yeah. Well, thank y'all for expressing. Y'all are beautiful. You know what group communing is. Look at y'all go. Where was I? Others best. How do you help those less fortunate? How does the life of Jesus and the things he taught inspire you to share with those in need? Dear Jesus, you're beautiful and worthy of all my praise. For further all of my praise, I pray in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much for being here with us and helping us to get through the pains we're going through, and for giving us this space to be able to commune with each other in your name and your healing and God's praise and God's glory. I pray in Jesus' name, amen. There we go. And now we've got tomorrow. God's people. What? Yeah. Oh, you're an Aquarius. Welcome, Aquarius. Oh, you're a Leo? Leo, Taurus. Amen. That part. Oh, Cancer. Yes, happy birthday season for the Cancers. Amen. Yeah. Thank you. Dude, this is definitely help. I'm gonna have to keep getting these, because this one ends August 31st. That's when this one will end. And August 26th is my anniversary. Sheep crossing. Haha, that's cool. I myself will tend my sheep and have them lie down, declares the sovereign Lord. When God has led you through seasons of difficulty, how can you trust him to be your shepherd today? Well, that's on my anniversary. Alright. That's up here so I don't forget. Scorpio here. Oh shit, you Scorpio? That's pretty trippy. That's trippy. That's pretty cool that that you're fitting in with us, because usually I have a difficulty with Scorpios, but I probably really only met non-healed Scorpios, so this should be interesting. Right? It's only $1 a month to subscribe. It is. I love you. We should help keep this going. Yes, that's what this is for. That's what supporting is. Thank you. Because yes, when you subscribe and put your full dollar in, I get your full dollar. When it comes to subscriptions, there's no 0.07% like when it comes to the stars and stuff. No, when it comes to subscriptions, I get your full dollar. Like, and I get Facebook performances over that too. And for people coming and joining my lives too, I get performance bonus, actual money performance bonus. Yeah, so it does help a lot. You were born on the cusp. That's why. Which cusp? Was it Libra or is it Sagittarius? Or would it be Virgo after you? Well, we got Scorpio, November, December, so it would be Sagittarius after you then. So it'd be either Libra or Sagittarius. Or, yeah, Sagittarius. My husband is a Cancer too, and my son is a Taurus. Oh, that's... wow. Man, that's gotta be a black and white relationship, seemingly. The 17th. Okay, so you're more towards Libra. Yeah, because you're the beginning of the month, so you're more towards cusp up on Libra. You have justice in your energy. That makes a lot of sense. And then you've got the emotional, deep, the darks of the ocean's emotional, passionate fuel to it. You have got to have some sort of fire in your chart. That's fueling the fuck out of this, because other than that, usually y'all are pretty more conservative than that. That's cool. What? Your Scorpio's sun and moon? Oh, man. When the sheep herders move territory in the mountains here, there are thousands of sheep on the road. What? Can't even drive in the streets. They close them down. Wow. My daughter and husband are Virgos, and my son's a Leo. Oh, that's actually a very beautiful combination. But as a Taurus, I roll the pen. Of course! Virgos. I bet you the Leo gives you some headbutting here and there. That's great. The Virgos know not to fuck with it. The Virgos probably get entertainment out of the Leo fucking just shining on. Oh, that's so beautiful. Heck yeah. I love a moon jar. Ah, yep, he does. I bet. That's awesome. Oh, I got a message. And then you're just gonna outright, that's very mean of you. I didn't even block you. Oh, that's so funny. And I have supported you. I suspended it because I didn't like what you commented. And then you're gonna sit there and bitch at me about what I did with my own work. And I've supported you. Okay, so use money to hold over my head to make me do what you were offended upon. Because the person I suspended, remember I said I didn't block them, but I suspended them from being able to comment. They literally just messaged me like, I support you so much, da 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 da, and it's just like, okay, are we using money to try to control me? Because I didn't like what you said? I mean, I didn't block you. I just suspended you. You will actually be able to come back. But you go and trip out online, you know, like, I will block you then. Just because I didn't like being told what to do, and because you don't think that's you telling me what to do, doesn't mean that that's how I feel about it. And this is my business page. Are you trying to run my business? That is what that lady just said to me. And then that's why I don't... When you support me, that's supporting what I do. Not trying to use your money to control me so that you can make me do what you want me to do on my business page. Excuse me? Like, damn. Because if I went and took a screenshot of that message and made it and publicly posted it, how would you feel about your words? Very narcissistic and manipulative, I bet. This is what I do. Well, like, and if you don't like it, then okay, I don't know why you're supporting me then. Just so that you can tell me how to handle what I do? No. I'm like, what? But I used my horns and knock him off his throat. That's funny. Of course. Don't let that shade in. No negative allowed. Your bad vibes to yourself. I just thought it was wild. I was just like, really? Hold on now. Because I wanted to make sure that my fiance wasn't messaging me. You know? And so I checked my shit. And then I saw that and I'm like, what? See? And I went and grabbed my stuffed animal because I got triggered just enough to comfort myself. Like, how many times do people gotta tell me, oh, like, don't let that affect you. I'm a sensitive person. People get triggered over being poked at. Like, and I'm tired of being poked at. And you acting like I blocked you. I didn't block you. You would have had to make a new profile just to message me if I blocked you. Like, I try to compute these things because I care. And I do try to see within myself, am I overreacting, you know? Or am I being a little too much? Sometimes, you know, I miss things. I am not fucking perfect, no matter how much these people want to pin me to be so perfect and try to prove how not perfect I am. And I'm going, I never claimed to be perfect. Guys, I love your haters. That means you're being seen, that part. Sometimes I'm so baffled by it, I'm like, what? How long have you been here? You say you support, and you've been here this long, and you don't already know this triggers me? How am I supposed to believe you're really a supporter, though? My real supporters, they're all like, I love your rants. Like, I never claimed to be a unicorn. Just because I go by unicorn doesn't mean I'm claiming to identify as the mythical creature, okay? 24 on those who have hurt you. You know what? But I want their karma to be awareness. That's what I tell God. When it comes to this, I want them to be able to understand, see, and be completely aware and feel with their heart. Because apparently that's what they lack the most. And then maybe if they're feeling exactly what they create upon other people, maybe it'll change their mind at that point, because they'll be aware of it instead of blind. Yes, I love the rants. I double that with you. Right? Yeah, indeed. Alright, I'm going to officially say 4:20 morning. So I'm gonna go off to the side, the camera. Girl, you have a beautiful soul. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Ignore the negativity. At least try to. Much love to you. You're welcome. I do what I do. If I don't ignore it, I don't ignore it. Flow through with it. Just like we have to flow through life, we have to flow through difficulties. We have to work through disagreements and arguments when it comes to your spouse. Things you just gotta work through. Because when you turn a blind eye, how many times I gotta tell people this? When you turn a blind eye, it keeps the issue going. Everyone keeps just playing in on it. And we're just like, you turn a blind eye to something. I don't. Oh, like, you want to keep repeating yourselves, and then I'm going to keep repeating myself. You know, that's how I compute. Like, thank you. Empaths do absorb a lot. We do. And I'm the type of empath that I take out my sword and I go, all right now. What do I need to cut out of this? Y'all think it's easy to ignore words. Let's see you ignore mine upon you. Oh, you can't. You messaged me. It was great. That was great. I love myself. My brain's hilarious. I used to believe everyone's words when they said it was crazy, and I went, I don't know. I just think y'all don't understand the capacity of what the fuck I calculate. And then I was like, I need to start learning to communicate. Not me, man. Let's sign them up for the next window in your stomach surgery. So they can see where they are going when they've had their heads up. Heads up in their ass. Yes, exactly. Here, let me show you that shit you got on your face. And you trying to wear it like a crown, honey. You look like a clown. I say that shit so much on Vigo because people be going and checking out my broadcast and trying to steal my shit in my broadcast. Like, you ain't the original. You don't even understand what the hell I'm spitting. So how are you going to communicate the lesson and understandings if you don't even comprehend the understanding yourself? You're misleading people. It's like, good morning, Shannon. I don't tolerate harmful humans very well. Yeah. I got to the point to where I get like, oh, you thought I was a monster. Just wait until I allow the monster out. You can never be me, sweetie. Yes, I would say you can't be me, sweat. This is limited edition. One of a kind. I am the only. That's why on my Bigo I put the unicorn now. I am the unicorn. Indeed, y'all. And I've never gotten a job off of Indeed. That's where it is. That's the site. It's not a search engine. It's a job. It's a find a job site. I ain't never gotten shit off of there except for that shit flooding flooding my YouTube. I mean, not my YouTube, my Gmail. Flooding my Gmail, man. Getting all mixed up in my words. Ooh, okay. I'll even be able to get breakfast. I think I'm going to get breakfast bowl. I gotta do dishes too. I'll get the dishes done. I always do. I used to be so... And it's weird how I'm so embedded when it comes to doing dishes by hand. Sometimes I'll choose doing dishes by hand over a dishwasher just because certain things when it comes to a dishwasher, it just collects soap scum and it's just gross. You taste that in your food. It's gross. But it is definitely faster to just rinse everything off and throw it in the dishwasher. So that has made it a little bit easier, but at the same time I have some trauma over a dishwasher. So like my mom has ripped me out of my bed in the middle of the night by my hair just because I didn't move the dishwasher from being connected to the sink out of the way. I did the dishes. And then there's another time I guess I didn't do a second load or something like that of dishes because it was dinner dishes. Sometimes it takes 2 loads depending on how much dishes are there. Because it's me, my 2 sisters, and sometimes my stepsister, my mom, my stepdad at that point. So you like it on your hands. I think I do. It's the soap and the water. I do. I love it all over my hands. Really? You understand EDS? Aw. It's a hard thing to live with. Yeah. And I've noticed those with EDS are highly susceptible to having bipolar. It's so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. Because she has EDS. And I could tell. And she was even talking about it because she mentioned it to me. And I went and felt her skin and I was like, you really do have it. You have it. When I started, because what made me question it was her doing this and the fact she could stretch like this far. And I went, you got EDS. Trauma over a dishwasher. Hell yeah, you try getting yanked by your hair out of a fucking bed just to move a dishwasher and empty it out in the middle of the night. Like, yelled at because there's a dish in the sink. Like, oh yes, I've got trauma over a motherfucking dishwasher. I like doing dishes by hand because of it. I will never forget that. I was so pissed to the point to where after I got done, I was crying in my room trying to think of how to kill my own mom. Yeah. And I was 15 years old when that happened. And I was just sitting there in the fetal position, crying, laughing. First time I have felt an extreme mental snap. First time in my life. And I just kept rocking back and forth thinking how I was going to kill my mom, and the only thing I came up with was to overdose her on acid. And I never did it. But oh yeah, there was some things she'd do. I would start planning, and I never did it. Instead, I started to try to leave my mom. I started to try to be around her less. I started to be very cautious around her. Extremely. Yeah, that's how bad it was. That is exactly how bad it hurt and triggered the fuck out of me. Because before that, when I was younger, I accidentally locked the keys in the car and she grabbed me by my hair, slammed me, or just kind of threw me, slammed me over, like slung me over. That's really what it was. It was like kind of grabbed my hair, slung me over into the grass, and called me an idiot, called me stupid. So I literally thought for the longest time I was an idiot and I was stupid and that I didn't know how to do anything right because I locked the keys in the car and it was such a bad thing to do. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Trauma does come with all the little things too. Yeah, very right. I do also an RMA, Registered Medical Assistant. Wow. Specialize in paranoia, schizophrenia, and manic bipolar. You're amazing. I travel doing disaster relief work. I'm usually first on scene. Holy cow, you're amazing. You're so cool. I'm so thankful to have you with us. Wow. Wow. You lost your connection to her. The string was pulled. So this was felt like it's not even really all the way much affected by it, nor do I care that she's not around. That, I mean, to me, that's a full a severing of ties, for real. I appreciate you. I didn't, and thank you for saying sorry, and I didn't block you. I just suspended you because I recognized your name as a supporter. That's why I was like, when I saw your message, I was like, excuse me, don't be using money as a way to sit there and be like, to try to control me. I support you, so da-da-da, it's wrong that you did da-da-da-da-da. No, you're either supporting me for who I am and what I do, no matter whether you get cut out or not. You don't use money to try to control people like that. It's not nice. Because at that point, I don't want any help from you then. And I can block people from my Cash App. I'd much rather go without anything to feel guilt-tripped over someone helping me. Okay? I just want to get that straight. She hates me for reasons she couldn't care less about me and my kids. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I don't believe my mom really hated me per se. I felt like it was more of a very weird buildup of jealousy and certain things that I don't really think she had cognitively and could understand. And I would always like give her the benefit of the doubt, and that was hurting me the most. So, and man, my heart goes out to you for what you've went through, and you feel the same way, because my mom actually cared more about my kids than she cared about me, because she would actually try to take my kids. Like, she would try to plan how to get my kids, and the only thing that stopped her from being able to do so is the fact that grandparents don't have any rights in Florida unless both parents are gone. So that's why I got a point. I don't even fucking trust her worth nothing. The only reason she probably even had any contact with me was so that she could have contact with my kids or be able to be around my kids, because I would tell my youngest son's father, I don't trust her. Don't let her go anywhere. Don't let him go anywhere with her. Like, y'all can go meet up somewhere, go out to eat, I don't care, but don't go anywhere. Don't let her take him at all. Because she would drink with a whole fucking full glass of alcohol in the freaking car. I was terrified anytime me and my son got in the car with her. Welcome back, Sam. Good morning, Jessica. My mom sold me for her habit. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Thank God you've survived so much ever since 4. I'm surprised you're alive. Congratulations for being able to get through all of that. That's, in my opinion, way worse than what I've been through. You were given up for adoption. Your bio mom had an affair, was married, had an affair with the Spanish man and created me. Her husband was racist and made her give me up. Oh man, my heart goes out to you. I'm not a money supporter. I just meant in general support you on here by commenting and being nice. Okay. Appreciate you making it clear. Good morning. Like a Taurus. I researched and found her. Oh, really? You researched and found her. Wow. I wonder how that went. The stupid man I'm married to went to drug court because he almost killed me in 2022. And now he acts like I own his ass. Wow. Dang. Seems like the more I do for him, he's more mean. That must be a guilt thing. He must have done something. He woke up cussing me. Yeah, he must have done something he feels guilty about. And he's taking it out on you. Because you're still being nice, and he feels like he doesn't deserve it. That's usually what that is. Now, I could be wrong, but that's usually why that starts happening. That's why being transparent is the best thing you can do in a relationship. Being open, I don't care how small it is. You tell that your significant other about it, because it could create shit like that. And that's what guilt, that's what hiding things. I don't care if you've cheated on each other. You need to let each other know. And how to handle it, and who can handle it. Because when it comes to cheating and hiding it, that creates so much more guilt that it creates physical abuse in the relationship because of the guilt. Yeah. Especially if they have a lot of guilt on their chest. I mean, it could not even be something about you. It could be something that happened in their past that they're still suffering from, because they're suppressing it so much, because that's how we taught our men to be. Like, you can't cry, you're seen as weak. And if you express too much of your emotions, you're too weak. And this is why we have the narcissistic men we have nowadays. That's exactly why. We do. We need more compassion in these areas. And, you know, like, sometimes, you know, discipline is the only way to do certain things. Because when you have certain things taken, then you get to the point to where you appreciate what you didn't have, or when you don't have it, you start to appreciate what you did have. And so that's why I feel we need more help in these areas and discipline in certain things. Like, you have rehab for drugs. What about rehab for abuse? What about rehab for financial issues? What about rehab for, a lot of other things? We have a lot of issues, that could help these people, than to force these people to keep going through these cycles of abuse, because no one wants to help no one. Our resources don't want to help anyone, usually, or it's too expensive, or you need money to be able to have help doing this. And he's 64. If it doesn't get addressed, it just gets harder and harder and harder, and suppress and and then it starts coming out like that. Like, your walls come down, you're less susceptible. He probably was in REM sleep. Probably didn't really realize that he had some sort of dream or some sort of emotions that came up while he was sleeping that made him wake up like that. And that's usually what happens, especially when it came to a lot of my shaman work and studies, with understanding these healings, these spiritual triggers, these spiritual upheavals, soul upheavals, really. It's just weird. It's almost like I felt like it's like I did that while I was pagan though, but I still feel like it's a heavy part of my life, and it's almost like God's like, okay, we had you do that training so that you would do the training, because if you were a Christian, you wouldn't do the training. And now we're going to tell you, you can be that, but you have to be that under God and with Jesus. And which is interesting, because I always felt Jesus was a shaman, So I wonder if I was just initiated as God's shaman. And so that's why I still express some of these spiritual soul healings I express, because it did help me a lot. No, it didn't create certain solutions that I thought it was supposed to create within my emotions and stuff. It actually took God to do that. But the awareness of these things helps a lot. And it helps to be able, praying made it easier to be able to heal and reconstruct some of these things with having awareness and understanding with it. So really having both is what gave its solidification. Wow. Valid. And I went through goddesses, I've went through gods, I've went through a bunch of different stuff, and this is that specific branch that came to me. And it's that specific branch I did not do, that I finally came to, like, I've done everything and I could not get myself off the street. I've done this, I've gone through healings of this, I've gone this, I've done this, and I've prayed to this, I've prayed to this, and the only thing I hadn't prayed to, because I was staying away from Christianity, was that. And once I did, well, I've seen the difference. I'm not trying to force anyone to believe in that direction, but I'm just saying, like, I was heavy pagan for years before this. I had switched to Christianity at one point in time just to learn Jesus, but I didn't completely comprehend what it is that was going on. And then I was traumatized by my Baptist grandmother. And then I was neglected, and me and my youngest son put into a shelter by my Baptist grandmother. And then I was used as an example of what not to be at a Baptist church. So I walked back away. And then God himself came to me in the hospital. And that's when I was like, all right, I've tried everything else. Let's see what you can do. let's see what you can do. And I'm gonna hold you up to every word you have in this freaking book, dude. But I'm just ignoring it, and that's gotta be so difficult to just ignore something like that too. When I'm going to get ready to take him to farm work, he says, "Babe, wow." Down and submissive. Yeah, the submissive thing, it does make it easier to control the lash outs when you're extremely submissive. I've done that. I had to do that at the YMCA with that old guy, y'all. Yeah, so I know that feeling. But I'm going to ignore it. I have a plan. I won't buy him nothing else at all. Can set in his own shit. Yeah, that part. So happy you found him. He is an awesome God. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you. I'm so happy you found him. Yeah, God. Yeah, for real. I mean, I used to not believe any of this stuff. And no, now I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. It was a whole perspective flip of a table that the whole thing had to be flipped. Because just the way I saw everything then wouldn't allow me to see that descriptions of him, like that he's merciful, that he's cares, that he's loving and everything like that, and that he has a wrath. Like, until the perspective shifts when it came to being at that mental hospital and saying, well, I had to take his hand to be able to see it. There was no seeing it beforehand. I just got to the point to where it was like, I can't do this on my own. And I've tried getting help everywhere else, and I can't get help. I need help. And I told someone that said they wanted to help me, and I was like, you can't help me. And that's what played out in my mind. And I was like, well, everyone says you can help. I've seen you actually help people. But I thought it was fake and a lie. Maybe it's not. So let's see what you can do. I've just been doing this since then. I'm going to sit back and watch the rapture work, because God doesn't like ugly. That part. I see you as a strong Egyptian god. See, that's interesting. Ancestry, yeah. A leader to the light. Yeah, I have actually randomly, because I'll randomly watch some of these AI created videos that are kind of like readings. And one of them was like, we figured out who you are. You are the reincarnation of Ra to bear witness. And I was just like, man, that sounds like some real ass shit right there. But that sounds a little bit crazy. How can I sit here and think I'm some sort of reincarnated god? And I'm like, well, I didn't get the tattoos. And then you go and say that shit. Yeah, apparently Ra has been reincarnated and is having communications with God about what is being seen. I didn't believe for a long time. He's patient with us. Yeah. I noticed that. He never gives up. Like, when they say God never gives up on you, even when you're not when you haven't taken his hand, that's true. He don't give up on you. He never gives up on you. And then even when you take his hand, he's still there. never walks away. He takes your hand and you walk with him together. That is true. I feel it. I do. I've seen it. It's hard to see when you're not by his side. I noticed that. But when you're by his side, it's like the whole world becomes clear. Everything becomes more clear than as cloudy as it used to be. And I used to thought that I was clear. It's so weird how you really think you're clear at one point until things become clear, and you're like, oh shit. And that's why I try not to preach too much about it. That's why I try not to push too much about it, because no matter how much someone pushed this on me, no matter what they said, I wasn't taking it. I wasn't having it, you know? And I can see it even in my fiance's eyes. That he has to see it from God himself. Like, there's nothing I'm going to be able to say that's going to be able to shift it. You know? I've gotten him to pray, but, like, that's just a little seed of an open, cracked door. He's going to have to be more curious to open the door more and actually come out with it himself. But I can I feel it happening for some reason. I feel it happening. And I express with him about some of my things, of course. I still do that. But I don't try to push it on him. But I do try to teach him some things that I learned that helped me be able to have more of a bond with God than structuralized religion taught me. Like, I used to think, like, praying out loud is one thing. I mean, but you're just praying out loud. When you go to address something, because I had to tell him this, and I did this when I was on mushrooms too. It was so fluid. It was almost like God used me himself to teach him how to pray specifically to God. Because it's like, you can pray out loud, yeah, but when you don't address God, that's like talking out loud in a whole room full of people and everyone's looking at you like, who you talking to? Because you didn't address someone. And that's what I told him. That's what it made it feel like. Like, when you address, like, dear God, dear Jesus, when you address, it's more potent, and it builds on the bond because you're addressing instead of just whimsicaling it. And as much as, yeah, I talk out loud like he's your best friend for sure. I mean, and keep going. It doesn't matter. And he showed up. The girl was praying out loud this morning and he showed up. Wow. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Dang. So yeah, addressing, that was pretty good. Because even making sure you address before you pray is, I notice it's very important. It is actually important. And then I always say in Jesus' name, because if it wasn't for Jesus and what he did and the creation of what he did to create Jesus for this sense of forgiveness, he wouldn't listen. He'd still be pissed over his son being killed, or him being killed himself as a reincarnation, you know? So it's like his wrath technically is death, the very thing that happened to him. It's like eye for an eye. And that's why in the New Testament it's no longer that way, because of Jesus's claim plead, Jesus' plead of forgiveness and balance. But that does not make Jesus as an scapegoat for things. This is why we still have 10 commandments. Mental and physical abuse is really hard. Especially when that's all you've ever known. including from your own parents. Especially when that's all you have ever known. Yeah, my prayers go out to you. May God help change things around. Speaking of which, I still haven't even smoked this bowl. I appreciate y'all communing with each other and supporting each other. I love y'all. Thank you. This is very beautiful to see. I really love seeing this. That's all you ever known too. Dear God, Jesus and Mother Mary, I pray that you may help Sam to be able to safely separate from the situation, or that you may be able to help her with the best case scenario that would make her more fulfilled within her walk with you and enjoying life in a happy state at all times and every second of the day without having to force it. Thank you, and may you please help all of us to shift into more of a positive collaboration of community amongst all the states. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Thank you. We have too much unnecessary suffering, which I can see God's reasoning for allowing it, so that we have a cognitive understanding of what is not good. A-bad, indeed. Because we really need this. We really need this shift. And God's the only one that can create these miracles to happen. God's the only one that can create this to happen. So I'm going to keep asking. I'm going to keep begging. Because this is part of my heart. As much as I want it for myself, I want it for the rest of us. That's why I pray for myself. And I pray for those that need it most on a compassionate, heartfelt way. Because I'd rather these other people get God's wrath and not my prayers. Because why am I going to give you more of my energy when there's people like me that need this energy more, that needs the handout, the God to go look and help them more, instead of having to deal or trying to force these other people to be different out of when they don't even want it. God needs free will. You can't just pray someone to be different. I mean, there is power in prayer, but there is a thing called free will. God can't just, it can overstep sense of free wills in certain things, especially when it comes to his will, but he does give choice. And this is where I feel you're wasting your time when it comes to praying for some of these people, because it takes them to go through hell to choose God's hand. So why are you going to help lessen their hell when they need the hell to choose God's hand? No. We need to pray for those that are already going through rough things, and they're wanting, and God can take care of the ones that need him to take care of them, instead of dealing with all these people that Satan needs to go take care of, or scare into God's hand, one or the other. Yeah, and that's what I feel personally about prayer. Family is a whole nother deal. Yeah, I keep praying for my grandma. Always prayed for me. And you know what? I don't know. Maybe her prayers helped save my life. Maybe it's the very reason, because apparently God can't see you unless, you're of his kingdom. I'm working through it. I'm learning. Little bit by little bit, but I gotta comprehend. Reading the Bible is one thing, but if you're reading it something and you're not fully comprehending it and being able to apply its lessons, you're just you're wasting your time reading it. So when you're learning lessons and reading, that's when it's constructive, for sure. And so that's why, I do those little things, because yes, I'm still getting the scripture, but I'm getting meaning. I'm getting understanding with it. I'm getting other people's outlooks about these scriptures, and then, so we can all kind of come together with this instead of having so many negative feelings about different branches of spiritual Christianity between different spiritual Christianities. But I didn't think God was going to send Buddha to hell. That one still confuses me. But my daughter, oh man, you even went through a daughter that was, how are you alive? What the fuck? Holy shit. And she told you this guy would hurt you, and you never listened. And he did after she was murdered by her boyfriend. Now is the time for you, huh? You're seeing how much you just fed into it. And you're gonna just flip that one around. Dang. He has soldiers everywhere. Here, right? The circle. Good. Speak up. We're allowed to speak up. We have that right. We have hearts. We are beings. We have a life. We deserve respect, and we deserve to be respected. Thank you for speaking up. I bet. I really wish we had a better justice system to truly get justice out. Because there's men that go through this. It's not just women. This is a rising issue in general that is just, I don't understand why we don't have more of a community about this in general everywhere, I swear I hear less and less about women domestic violence places. And some people don't want to press charges. They don't want to sit there and enact revenge. They want to let God handle it. And these women domestic violence places will throw you out to the streets if you don't press charges. They will not help you if you don't press charges. And that's how some of these domestic violence women end up back in their abusive situation, because they didn't want to press charges and they just want to move on and go on with their life, and their funding is from people pressing charges on each other. Yeah, you gotta start doing it. Yeah, I guess it's about time to just start setting up, asking God to show you the direction out the door, how out the door, and safely out the door, and what to do to get outdoor. Keep praying about that every day for yourself instead of praying for his change. And without a doubt, God's going to give you a way. And he's going to show you just how to do it. That's beautiful. You're awesome. Thank you, Susan, so much for being here. You're such a valuable asset to this group. You really are. Yeah. I think that's all it was, is that you were trying to pray for things to balance out in your home and with him. And I feel like God's rejecting that and basically needs to help you, but it takes you giving your choice and free will up to allow God to reconstruct your journey in such a way, that way, instead of rejecting it without even knowing. Not saying you're purposely rejecting it at all, it's without even knowing. And with my experiences, the only reason I know that is because I've done that. And when I've switched over and started praying just for myself in these ways, I started getting further, you know? And I never really ever had to wait long. That's the difference. As of opposed to walking with God, and when I wasn't walking with God, when I would pray about things, it was either I never got it, or I had to somehow figure out for myself, or, you know, it wasn't, or it'd just be exactly what I asked for, but yet I would need more help with other things. So, like, yeah, I started just shifting the way I pray. I have a nonprofit. We have an international 800 number TV commercial. Now I use the land to help. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, need land. Need the land to help. Okay, that's awesome. Now I need the land to help. That's so cool. Wow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I wanted to create a unicorn building for all homeless, but I can't have it as a shelter because we need rehoming. Like, that's the issues with all our shelters, is they're overran. There's no rehoming, and if there is rehoming, it takes forever. And we're overstocked with geriatrics, and it's so hard to rehome geriatrics without putting them in the nursing home, and then you have to pay for nursing home. And so they get left to the streets because they can't pay for it. And so, yeah, you're doing an amazing part. It's always, and ripples make big ripples. No, you're thinking about it wrong. You don't have to get yourself together. Just flow through, talk with God about it. Relax. Don't plan too much, because you don't know what God's planning. God will show you what he's actually planning, because anytime we plan anything, does it ever work out? Because we can't comprehend the right plan when it comes to what God actually is planning out for us, that we will then just have to follow. That's it. So, but yes, now just do you, and just flow with what brings you joy. Keep just flowing with what brings you joy while you pray for God to show you the direction to be able to move on outward from this. And then just watch, observe and watch. You don't really have to plan too much. Enjoy your little moments, okay? And tiny house. You're the tiny house community? What? Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely not alone. This is beautiful. How wonderful. But so your organization is the tiny house community. Like, Or is that what you're gonna call it? No, you said you have a non-profit organization. That's small, but it made a ripple. No, it made such a big ripple. I know. The tiny house community. Like, what? Yes, correct. Hand it all over to God. And try not to take it back from Him. That part. He will show you through step by step. She is correct. Absolutely correct. Stop planning. Stop planning. It does nothing but take it out of God's hands. Leave it in God's hands and enjoy the little baby steps as you wander through. Be childlike of nature. All of these things, when it came to soul healing, self-healing, whatever, self-loving. Okay, no. Okay, you are creating one. Okay. All of that does work when you apply it with God. So you're absolutely correct, and definitely don't plan. Oh my God, Jesus, don't plan. Don't do it. When your ass plans, it just goes south. Or the plan doesn't happen because God's saving you from that going south. She is so correct. So correct. I can't tell you how many times some people are like, oh, your goal is this or that, and God this. And I'm like, but what I've learned is every time I tried to plan something, that shit did not work, and as long as I just prayed for God to take care of it, then it fucking can't happen. And I was like, so no more. I ain't planning nothing no more. Nothing. No plan. No plan. I just flow with every second, every minute, and every day. It's scary. Oh, bet it's scary. I'm so used to planning things, having a plan B to back up on so that I'm not anxiety filled and everything and worried about not knowing. No plans. Your only doing is you. And doing what brings joy to you, as long as you're not stepping out, crossing over free will. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it is true. Do what thou will with your relationship with God. But do not overstep anyone else's free will. Do with what makes you happy, of course, without hurting anyone. I mean, that's why we've got the 10 Commandments. Without, overstepping other people's sense of free will too. That's why we've got lessons of respect. And that's why he says, do not covet thy neighbor. Like, there are some things that I'm like, we clearly see why this is a commandment. Like, that part. He has protected you through this far. He knows that what he has planned after this is going to be way easier for him. As a hippie. That's pretty good. He is on it. You know what? I agree with you. Because even a hippie has their standards. A hippie will go, no, well, a hippie will respect too, as long as they're like a pretty respectable hippie. They respect the land and everything. And fellow humans, exactly. Exactly, that's it. That's simple as that. It really is that simple. Like, being more tribal-like with each other, without the killing other tribes, harmonized tribe. We can do this. This is why we should reunite, because I don't understand how we're the United States, but yet our federal uses for certain systems do not go from state to state. We are not connected from state to state, like food stamps. And I'm going, why? Oh, You want people to commit crime. Okay, got it. Never mind. Like, so we need to reunite our states. I don't understand why we even gotta do that. Like, and then communalize them. So that when our children get older and they show in who they naturally are, they know where to go. Like, what if they're, you may not approve of the lifestyle they want to be, but they can go, they know what community to go to, what state to go to be able to find where they fit in, or where they feel harmonized with how different they are, with others that are different like them, that are like-minded of them, It's not that hard to really, I feel like we've got everything so separated in so many different states. It's like, it's a hello division to a point to where everyone feels alone. No one feels like they get each other at all. And everyone's just hating on each other. Because everyone just wants to be happy. And anytime anyone finds happiness, someone's trying to take it away. Like, this is nonsense. This is unnecessary suffering. When I say unnecessary suffering, I bet everyone's singing it now. They categorize humans. We are the world. We are the children. That part. I mean, to me, it just seems that much simpler. You already did it when it comes to certain nudist colonies, and they're like, you should just have a state set for LGBTQ country. I don't know, whatever you want to do, but separating everything when it comes to certain things, when it comes to these community type areas, like voodoo. What you go to, what was that state? You go to a specific state if you want to know about voodoo, and go to the margarita place, and everyone knows that. We can, and make traveling easy. We can go and visit these commute places to find yourself, It just seems so much more at peace to do things that way. But you can't have war against each other communities, though. No North against South, no LGBTQ against this, no, none of that, okay? You want to have trans, okay, but you want to have a conservative place, allow some of these conservative people to have conservative areas. I mean, this is hard. You want us to respect your decisions, but yet you don't respect conservatives. You force your decisions upon conservatives, and I don't agree with that. This is why I feel we should have our own communes. And go where your communes are. Or what do you want to be a problem? I don't mind you going into and visiting a conservative, but be more conservative. And then conservative people, when people come to visit, you don't have to sit there and bully them out. That's not right. You may have certain standards to come and visit. I agree, because that's what countries do. They have certain standards for the visitations, and respect upon culture of that visiting that country. Same thing when it comes to y'all's communities here. Like, no different. It was weird at the nudist one I went to. All old hairy balls. It'd be getting that weird, huh? Like, if I get something for myself, he gets all mad, but yet I get him stuff too. That's why I said I ain't gonna get him nothing else at all, and see how he feels. Then the old devil is a liar. just be careful about certain things like that, because you don't want to, as much as you want to have self-love upon your actions that has consequences. You know doing certain thing will have a consequence. So be wary. And have self-love accordingly, because you still want to protect yourself from retaliation, because technically you doing that is an instigation. So be careful of unaware instigation, because you don't want to poke at this more than it already is. Buy yourself something, but don't let him know about it. And if he does find out about it, lying ain't good. But see, that's what makes that hard, and that's why you wouldn't. So then what? Do you get to the point to where you just don't buy anything for you or him at all, unless it's just groceries? See, that's a difficult one, because doing what you were expressing, it seems like self-love, but it has a consequence to it. And that can be potentially less self-love than it would be more self-love seemingly in the beginning. Yeah, triggers, right? Yeah, so just be wary of that, because that's kind of comes along those lines of living with an abusive person. So yeah, just keep praying God about it, and keep your P's and Q's close tight to you, pretty close knitted to yourself. That's gotta be difficult. Your daughter is your son now. Wow. Oh, you love him. You love him more for being him. That's beautiful. Huh. That is beautiful. My son told me he was gay. I mean, as much as I could see where the trauma came from, I accepted it. You know, I'm like, I mean, if that's, I understand. You know, I get it. You can adopt, and I can still have a grandbaby. Yeah, no problem. Of course. This is what I do. That's actually part of my shaman. Understanding certain things like this to be able to help y'all with the best case scenario of a worst case scenario. And that's why I have my eye tattoos, to see what is revealed, to understand what's being revealed to you, and to see the potentials of what could hurt her. But at the same time, now that causes me too much stress, so I just allow God, but also take in consideration of what I've learned for also protection upon myself, so that it makes it easier for God to shift things through, because he knows what you're going to have to protect yourself from. You know, he already knows that. Trying to save him when he murdered your youngest. Wow. That had been very difficult to get through the guilt of that, feeling like if you would have left your husband sooner, maybe you'd still have your youngest. That had to have been difficult. And you're a Scorpio. That's deep. That hits Scorpios deep. You're a water sign. Oh, man. Everything happens for a reason, but damn, that would be a last straw. That's when you learned your purpose. So I was thinking, everything happens for a reason. Wow. Wow. That's why I keep saying, that's why I feel like God keeps allowing some of these things to happen, because we would keep doing it to each other if we didn't see, if we didn't understand. They say ignorance is bliss, but it can be easily controlled when you're not aware. You can become easily controlled when you're not aware. And that's the hard part. Thank you for sharing. I couldn't imagine. Oh man. The mental capacity of that. Oh, that had to have been so difficult to get through. Goodness. I've had dreams of seeing shit like that, and that even itself was hard for me to get through. And even to this day, it's hard, because I even constantly, every day, feel like I'm just losing my kids more and more and more to being a victim. Everything being just stripped from me just for literally no reason but to hurt me. No reason but to hurt me. And then blame me being mentally ill, something trauma created. To get rid of me. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Survivor. That part. Exactly. You got this. With God. God's gonna help you get through. Losing Charlene woke me up, then going through what I did. I'm awake now. It's weird how we're all just kind of grouping up, hugging each other, like we're in a tornado. It's like we're all grouping up, hugging each other, like we're in a tornado, and we're just all like praying for God to flip the table. We're waiting for you, God. Just please flip this table. Jesus' name, please flip this table. Oh. I called my daughter in OKC this morning because I had a dream. Woke me up about her little girl was all bloody. Oof, yes. Yes, you have dreams about that. Please always let that person know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, but I've had this dream. Please take it into consideration and be more aware. Oh, yes. I'm so glad you were able to do that. Some things can be guilt, but some things can be a premonition warning. God's time is the best time. Yep, you're correct. That's why I feel like we're all huddling, hugging and going, all right, we just waiting on you, man. Okay, good. She checked on her. Okay. Alright. You did have a lot until you saw his plan. Wow. You were able to see God's plan for you. And I bet that made it way easier to walk down the road. Because I'm still clueless in the plan. I'm not at that stage where I know his plan and purpose for me. Well, I kind of feel I kind of get the purpose, but I don't feel like I fully like what you're able. This chat is great, right? What the man? You helped make it great. Hello, good morning, Ella. They're twins, 7 years old in my dream. She only brought one to visit me, and girlie, I woke up. Wow. Dang. Wow. And you did. That is powerful. That is so powerful. That's the power of God right there. She's like, at least I hope so. See, God's got jokes. That's why we got humor. Good jokes. God don't play with bad jokes. God don't play with people's lives. When God jokes around and makes us laugh, they're always good jokes. Always good jokes. That's why I was like, God's got good jokes. That's funny. God's got a good sense of humor. He really does. It's funny. I find it hilarious. I get his humor for sure. Like, what? Your dog woke you up crying? Holy cow. Indeed, Campbell, for sure. Wow. See, it's stuff like that we always listen to when it comes to omens and things like that. Dang. Wow, that's wild. That's intense. Right? Damn. Huh. That right there, that's a God using us as vessels to help and protect something. Because I feel like that's why certain things can happen that are bad, because people have the free will to choose to do something or not do something, and that makes it difficult in God's hands when it comes to certain things like that. I just want to let y'all know, because once you've given your life to God, it's different at that point, okay? But when you haven't, free will is a very tricky thing, and this is why some of us are like, why did God let this and allow this? Because free will is a thing. Choice is a serious thing. Have you met the gray man in your dreams? I met an Indian chief that had summoned this bear to rip something out of my heart. It ripped something out of my heart, and it ripped something out of the side of my head. But a gray old man, no. It was an Indian chief. Like, I didn't see his tribe anywhere. He was an Indian chief, and he was sitting there staring into a fire, and he would talk to me through the fire. And when I would talk back with him, it was like he could hear me, but he could not see me. Oh, okay. You saw the gray man. You were asking Sam. What? Run from the gray man? The gray man's bad? Yeah, right, I do too. Yeah, the chief Indian thing. Yeah, that was like right before my initiation into shamanism. I was beginning studying shamanism. It was in 2017 when that happened. Yeah. And when I was 8 years old, I saw apparitions come out my closet, but I know for a fact they weren't angels. I think they were ancestral shamans, but I feel like somehow I don't understand the connection between these ancestral shamans and God, and being able to connect with a chieftain, and then this being I'm not finished connecting the two yet, because I can tell God's pushing shamanism still in my life, fueling it, but I can tell he's shifting it all at the same time. So I'm still trying to put the pieces together, per se. Because I used to think I had the pieces together. Now I'm not really all the way sure. Wow, you dream of being caught? That's wild. The devil was trying his best to have me a bad day. The dream. Then my husband was cussing. Whoa. Man, this has been an intense session, huh? We're having better and better sessions. I like this. We're getting good people. We're getting nice, beautiful morning group talks. Wow. Dang. Where have I seen that? I think I've seen that actually in a movie. That's actually like, that has happened to people. That has happened to people. Right. That's what. You know. I got Scorpio in my Lilith, so it's not much, but it is just enough. And my North Node is Cancer, so. I mean, my whole life path is emotional maturity. Shoot, my numerology number is 7. It's so funny. That's great. So we got my rising Aquarius. So we got all this air, right? Oh, it'd get better. Let's throw some Aries as my rising. No wonder I'm skyrocketing to the fucking space, right? So then, let's put some Capricorn in the moon. Let's put some Capricorn in, what was it else? I think it was by fucking Mercury, Mars, Capricorn. Like, I have 4 or 5 counts of Capricorn. And then let's throw some more water in that shit. We need her to love like a Pisces. I used to look at my chart and go, what the hell were y'all thinking? I even think there's like Gemini something in my, I think my Mercury actually, the ruling of communication was Gemini. And because I used to go, geez man, this don't sound good. Now I see it. Now I can see how my communication can be very Gemini. Like, which one you getting today? then I really started wanting to read other people's charts after I started to understand mine, and I, what? Okay, like, finding out, it's interesting how it just so fits. There's little differences, of course, but it just baffles my mind how much more I understand how someone is when I'm able to read their chart. And it's like I get a whole new perspective about them. Person of all signs? I did not know Odin was person of all signs. Wow. The diagram was really weird looking too. It makes sense why some of these people are all like, hurry before you miss your destiny. I don't think you really miss your destiny. I feel like sometimes it gets delayed because it's actually God's destined path for you, and you actually have to take God's hand in a way to reach that destined path that your numerology is telling you about. And to master your chart of your sense of self, the only way to do that is with God. I used to think, I did not used to think that this was accurate, this way of thinking was accurate, but damn, man, I swear I'm being proven this is so accurate. I love reading too, especially when it comes to spiritual books, self-help books, shaman books. I love it all. I have a thing for spiritual psychology. That's what I have a thing for. I used to think it was just psychology. Some psychology, I'm like, I don't know what y'all thinking, but y'all delusional. Other psychology, I'm going, yeah, that's it. And y'all calling us delusional while you want to write a definition of delusional that does not make any sense. Now this shit over here makes sense. All these books from the 50s and 60s talking about shamanism, this shit's starting to make sense. Now I see where y'all asses stole this from. And they all had their own sense of higher power. And I feel like that's where God's mercy came in. And that's why there had to be missionary doings relating to Jesus, because everyone in a sense has their own tribal perspective of God, okay? Just like the Indians called it Great Spirit. So I feel like that's where the mercy comes in the heaviest, is having mercy of different cultural functions of honoring God itself. Not that there's different gods because of culture besides India. But in certain other countries that maybe have more than one gods. But I feel like even then, they still worship an All-Father. Like Odin is the All-Father. So, I'm still working through that one. I like dissecting spiritual psychology. Indeed. Right, that is what Buddhists say. That's why it's like, to a point, I can't believe that's what made it so hard for me to convert to, though. Because it was like, I used to sit there and say, well, if Jesus truly is the only way, it is hard for me to believe Buddha is in hell. Because he believed himself to be God. And that's very satanic, technically, because Luciferian believes Lucifer as the supreme. But also they believe themselves as God too. So, but satanics believe in themselves as the overall seer, the overall God altogether. So it is a hard one. Have a great day. Bye, Jessica. Thank you. That's why I'm not all, I can't sit here and say for sure positive in my opinion on some of these things, because I have not thoroughly spiritually and experience wise worked all the way through some of these things that I have had difficulties in myself relating to some of these perspectives and understandings, and a religious sense of constructivity within others. Because I feel like that's what makes missionary. Trying to help others understand what the truth is, really, not forcing conversion. You're trying to help them to understand a sense of truth, for them to be able to walk over to God themselves and ask for themselves. And that's what I learned when it came to people trying to convert me, and it didn't work. No one converted me. It took me going to God myself to convert. Not one person was able to do it. Jealous God. Yeah, it did say in the Bible, thou shalt not worship no other God before me. He never said you couldn't do it. He never said you couldn't get help from them. He just said not before me. First me, and then you may honor your culture, is where I see that came in and why that's there. You know, to me, that's why I feel cultures are not condemned. You can still be of your culture. And that's why I feel your countries, saving your own countries is very important. Y'all are historical cultures. And usually you'd want, if you're of that culture, you want to be in that culture. So I feel like that's what makes it so important, that for it to be on that type of level. Now, whether or not it will be accepted, that's in God's hands. All I can do is talk about it and give some sort of understanding to it that may help. Basically create a seed for God to be able to water. Other than that, can't do much more than that. Because I can't just force you to be different, just like no one could force me to be different. Just like I can't force my fiance to see. I can pray for it. I can put seeds there. Other than that, I can't force it. I just gotta wait and see and allow God to be God. Let God be God. That is why I have a card that says, let God be God. I was trying to make decisions and plan and do this and do that. And trying to be God in your own life, because you think you know what's better than what is being brought to you. I mean, don't be lazy and not do anything. I mean, coexistence with construction of said journey helps a lot. Do act, you know, but act in righteousness with God. You know, it does, I don't know the actual scriptures, but that is what, you know, that's what the lesson and structure is within it when it comes to understanding your walk and your relationship with God. Even the devil is casted out. Well, I say, even the devil has a job. Even the devil has a purpose, because without the constant hells of being without God's hand, would we realize we need God's hand? So we give him a bad rep, but honestly, I thank him for being so dang good at his job. Like, God picked the perfect job for that motherfucker right there. Okay, you want to roll over something? I'll let you rule over. But you still have to abide by my rules. When one is mine, one is mine. When one is not mine, you've got free range, whatever. You just... It makes sense. And that's why when it comes to the anointed ones, it seems that the afterlife itself helps you more. It's really weird. I've experienced it. His ass works hard. That part, it works so hard. He does, doesn't he? He is so good at his job. He just constantly keeps going. I mean, he's one of the best little fucking workers for God I think God owns. He's the employee of the month every year. See how much do people talk about him? Man, he's famous for his work. And he does it that well. So why should I get mad? I'm only mad because I'm lacking the understanding that he's trying to shove me into when it comes to going to God. So I mean, like, thank you. That's when you know you cognitively completely get to a point, God, you know? No, I can't understand everything. I'm not fucking gonna sit here and tell y'all I understand everything. Hell no. But certain things, I'm going, yeah, okay, I see the reason for this, this, and this. For real. Gotcha, sir. I got you. I am so not afraid of you anymore. No, you love me? Oh. I bet you God loves me more. Or I should say, God loves me better than you. Yeah, God loves me better, so you can keep your love. It's abusive love. Oh, that's so great. Oh wow, it's 9:35. I'll go to the store soon because I really want some breakfast. Yeah. I'm gonna give me a breakfast bowl from Dollar General. I can't believe how expensive Dollar General's gotten. It's just fucking crazy. 8:35 there. Finish this bowl with y'all. Oh, thank you, Susan. I love you too. I appreciate you. Thank you, Susan. Heck yeah. I got enough to get some breakfast bowls for the next few days. Waiting for your weed card. It's a very smart idea. Oh, don't go anywhere without having your weed in your prescription container. Them cops will still poke at you. I have met someone in their jail because they had their weed in a baggie and not in a prescription container. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Susan. Oh, man. This morning's chat was exactly what I needed. It's so exactly what I was needing. And thank you, God, for helping us. Thank you, God, for bringing us together. In Jesus' name, for a better community, for us to be able to grow and expand in God's glory. And it be the most powerful thing, not even Satan can break it down. Have a great day, Karen. Yeah, breakfast does sound great. Aw. Whoop, whoop. Yes, yes. You are very welcome, Sam. Alright, y'all. I am hungry, and if I stay on here longer, I'll stay on here longer without eating. I'll probably be on later, but I'm not going to be on Facebook. I'm going to be working on my Bigo account. So, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And the rest of you who I see on Bigo, please excuse me. Bigo is extremely fast. Very fast-paced area. Sometimes, I get names mixed up. Sometimes sometimes it takes me a minute to cognitively remember maybe who it is that's trying to get me to remember who they are from Facebook. Okay, because it's happened before, and I've lost a friend over it. Someone I actually gave a Mallow rosary to. Like, she didn't have to pay for it. Like, she has supported me, even financially supported me, even, helped me when I asked and I have needed. And she came onto Bigo, and I did not, okay. And her name's Barbie. And on Bigo, that did not click in my head, because there's so many weird names. And I even remember, and then, talking about Snow White, and I named my necklace Snow White, and then she says necklace, and she says Facebook, and it still didn't click. It takes me a minute. And then when it finally clicked, and it didn't click till maybe a few weeks, I don't know, I think maybe a month later, and I ended up messaging her and going, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. And she didn't even want to talk to me. And I was boom, 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 one message after another, I deeply apologize. I do not do this. I do not spam someone apologies. I walk away from shit and don't give a fuck. But this one, I felt so horrible. I don't even think I see her anymore. She don't even talk to me anymore. So I was just like, damn, alright. That's harsh, but I get it. But sometimes, if you're not a content creator, you don't understand. So I took that in consideration. Because just sometimes, especially when you start to meet so many different people, it's easy to get mixed up sometimes. So for that, having that, I wanted to put that out there for y'all to let you know if that does happen. I deeply apologize, and thank you for your patience when it comes to me finally being able to click in. My name will click. Oh yeah, when it comes to you, Karen, you are very prominent. You are such a prominent person. And see, she was more of a very docile person, so it was easy to kind of I don't know, I feel like I'm making up excuses. I still feel bad for it, but I want to apologize ahead of time. Type in Bigo. Okay, I will try to remember to post Bigo, or to post I'm on Bigo before I go on Bigo. I'll do my best to do that, because I've never planned these things. See, when I try to plan something, I even try to plan to be on Bigo at 8 o'clock that night, and instead God said, you're going to be on mushrooms. And I went, yeah, I'm not going on Bigo. I'm going to end up spewing something out that's probably not good to spew out on a platform that reaches bunch of different countries. This one reaches countries, but that one reaches a bunch of different countries. Okay, you got Bigo. What? Of course. Because we want to reach out to the masses, not just us. Alright, I'll keep that. Yep. Now I know. It is in my brain. The one and only. That's awesome. I love it. When I see you, I'll follow you. Because I like multicast. Girl, have you gone on multicast? Yeah, Carrot, I see you there. Multi-guest is amazing, Susan. Man, I love that. I mean, I do get a little mouthy because of them trolls, but I started making it a verbal war. I steal that spotlight back. It is nothing like I do here. Here's a little bit different. But over there, when it comes to multi-guest, how it's kind of handled differently there, we have fun. Like, I start teaching them motherfuckers how to treat these trolls, and how to steal your spotlight back instead of them just tearing it up, getting you out of your thought. No, I teach them how to steal their spotlight back and show how ridiculous. We need to speak about how ridiculous that is. It's so stupid. Not yet. Oh man. You're in for some fun. Multi-guess is the reason why I'm in love with Bigo. Yes. It's when you go live. You go live, and then you'll have a choice between live or personal live, multi-guess, and I think they got 2 others now. It's changed since I've been on there. Those streets can be brutal. Yeah. I'm not the Karen they talk about. Yeah, because y'all will be able to, you don't have to be on camera, but you can be in voice. You can have the voice going, and all of y'all can sit in the seat with me, and we can all communicate with our voices as a group together. I can have up to 12 people in my multi-guest. So that's why it's like I really want to push and figure out to constantly being a paid host, because I can get paid way more being a paid host on Bigo doing the same exact thing, and y'all don't have to text. You don't have to text unless you want to be a texter at the bottom. You can pull up a chair and talk, or be on camera with me. Like, we can really truly get to know each other on a whole nother level. Like, I can personally really get to know y'all instead of through all of this. But that's why I'm in love with Bigo. They don't want you live. I'm not racist, I'm real. I say that shit too. Well, what Bigo will do is you'll never end up in where you're being viewed in thousands. You'll be a special person where you can get seen by the important people, but you're not getting seen by the flooded. So I hit up in my hundreds. I've hit 400 before, and that's just still being seen by importance. Once they throw you in to the flood, that's when it's thousands. People are just commenting stupid shit. Like, you get a hell of a lot of bad trolls. So I really like what Bigo did to me. You know, like how they have me more in a private feed, and that's basically because I get that way too. Like, the way I get here, I get that way over there too. But they put me in a private kind of feed, and so it's not nearly as bad. But as long as you're not, like, as long as you're like, in a sense, politically, I don't know that I want to say politically, like, humanely talking about something instead of it being specifically a race thing and you're talking about behavior, not a whole race, that's how you use the words to keep them from doing something like that and call them you're racist. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. We are special cases. What's up, Tim? Or what's up, Lucky Charms? All right. Yeah, no, you can't drink or you can't smoke at all. If you have any, like, Bigo will let you do marijuana off to the side. Bigo will let you have a vape. I don't know if that's changed, but usually Bigo will let you have a vape on camera, but you can't have a cigarette on camera, and you can't like have any tools of smoking on camera. And when you smoke, when you blow out, you have to blow out this way. And that's why I do it on here, because it's a habit from doing it in Bigo. So, yes. Alright, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and jump off here right now so that I can go to the grocery store, get some breakfast. And until then, those of you, I shall see you next time. I will do my best to remember to post that I'm about to go on Bigo over here on Facebook, and then I'll be going on Bigo either later. More than likely it'll probably be around afternoon 3-4, around there, and if not, usually it will end up in evening time, so it'll always be after lunch when it comes to Bigo, because Bigo is better the later at night you go. It's sometimes weirder. And then sometimes I'll be on Bigo at 3 in the morning until 6. Because at 6 I'll come on, at 6 a.m. I'll come on here. So sometimes I'll do Bigo ass early in the morning before I come on here. And that's because I woke up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep. And I know all y'all sleeping. Alright, much love, y'all. See you next time. Bye.